So what's up, guys? It's me, John. We're going to go ahead and start our training. This is going to be the third training class in a pretty in-depth Chatfuel training. So you guys know I did a really in-depth mini chat training with like 200 hours worth of course content on mini chat. So we're doing about the same thing with Chatfuel. So we're putting out a very extensive Chatfuel training that will take you all the way from noob to ninja with everything that you need to know about Chatfuel. So this is the third series in our Chatfuel training. It's still going to be pretty basic today because we're just on the first day. So our agenda for today is to cover this session right here, session 3. All right, so it's going to be approximately, this says it's going to be approximately 2 hours, but it's probably not going to be that long unless you guys have a lot of questions. But like I said, it is still pretty basic at this point. We won't start getting into real advanced stuff until around day 3. All right. So day 2, if you want to check out the agenda for day 2, let's take a look what's on the agenda for day 2. It's still somewhat basic. We're going to go over the AI tab and the Grow tab, and then we're going to get into dialog flow and the Configure tab and all the different Grow tools that you have available to you. All right. And then once we get to day 3 and day 4, it starts to get a little bit more. Thank you so much. It starts to get a little bit more intense once we get to day 3 and day 4, and then a couple days that aren't here, we're gonna have 3 more additional days, day 5, 6, and 7, where we're actually gonna be building a live chatbot for you. And we'll probably build something like this chatbot right here. That is an affiliate marketing chatbot for my company, which is a pretty in-depth chatbot where you can get all the mini chat courses, and you'll also be able to go in and get the Chatfuel course as well. All right. But for this Chatfuel course, we are not using this tier 5 bot. We're actually using this Chatfuel training bot right here. All right. So I'm gonna pull up my notes here and see where exactly we're at. We're on this session 3. So here's what we went over so far and the last 2 sessions that we had. You know, what is a chatbot? Pretty basic. Advantages of using a chatbot. Introduction to chatbots and essentially the Chatfuel platform. In our last session, we went all over the Automate tab, everything in the Automate tab, what it's there for. And then in this session, we're going to go a brief overview of these Chatfuel cards and probably a couple more. And then we're going to get into Chatfuel attributes and why you need them and essentially what they are. All right, so let's jump in. I'm just going to put this on my other screen here real quick. All right, so let's jump in. Now, we went all over these blocks. We went all over these blocks already in the last training, so I'm just going to use some of these because we don't actually, I'm not going to need them at all. I'll just put some in the random group, and we're just going to go over some of these cards. All right, we're going to go over all these cards and some of these other cards that you have here for Chatfuel, and they're all really, really basic. All right, so the first one we have is this text. Now this text, as you can imagine, is really, really simple. You know, you put some text here. All right, so these are just blocks where you put your text in. All right, so you put whatever text that you want in here. You can see that you are limited to a certain amount of characters. All right, so you can only put so many characters in here, and then you have to have another text block. I come from an engineering and manufacturing background, and I used to be a lean manager. So I used to do process audits for factories like Tecumseh and Toyota as far as lean management goes in manufacturing. And I like to bring those lean concepts into chatbot building. And what I like to recommend that you guys do is I like to recommend that you guys go in and actually match content delivery rate with content consumption rate. All right. So what does that mean? Well, let's take a look at here. We'll go to session 3 and let's find some bacon ipsum. Let's find us some bacon ipsum. I like bacon ipsum a lot more than I like lorem ipsum. So let's grab some of this bacon text right here. All right, and let's put that bacon text in here. Now you can see that we're missing some. There we go. All right, now we got 31 characters left here in this session. So let's go to this. Let's find this chatbot right here, and let's just type in test. Oh, sorry, that's totally the wrong chatbot. So let's find the right chatbot called Chatfuel Training. There we go. All right, so now let's try that there. Now, this is what I don't want to see you guys do. You are not matching, right here in this example, you are not matching a content consumption rate with the content delivery rate, and that is what you should be matching. You should be matching content consumption with content delivery. What that means is your message should not be bigger than this window, okay? You should not make your user have to scroll up to see your entire message. That is not good. Also, you definitely should not be doing stuff like this, all right? This is another big no-no. If you look here, a really big no-no. Let's try it again. You should not be you should not be making your text bigger than this window where they have to scroll up, and you definitely should not do what I just did. You see that they got 1 message, 2 message, 3 messages. They got to scroll all the way back up to read that. The average user isn't going to do that. The average user is going to see all that content, and they're going to be like, no, this isn't for me. This is way too much reading for me to have to do. All right? So you definitely don't want to do that. What you'd want to do instead is you would want to do something like this, where you would just grab that and then maybe have a little typing there, and then have some more of that, and then have maybe some more typing there, and have some more of that, and then try that out and see. And I really recommend that you go through and actually read your content, all right, and test out your content. Like I can tell right now, that was already too fast. I then lost my user, all right? So I'm gonna give that. What I like to do is 1 second per line plus 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So about 8 seconds would be good enough for a person to read there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna do about 9 seconds there. That should be good enough for a user to read, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for really good usability. That's why I'm telling you, you want to test your own chatbot. You don't just want to write a lot of content and never test your chatbot and think that it's just going to work fine for users, okay? You want to match the rate at which you're delivering content with the rate that your users are actually consuming that content if they're there consuming it. You'll get more users that will actually read your messages. You'll get more users that will stay engaged with you because you're delivering content to them at a rate that they can actually consume it, instead of just jumping off a whole bunch of content to them that they can't just go in and read all at once, and then they get overwhelmed with all your content, and then they just decide, you know, they're too lazy for that. So that is the biggest piece of advice that I could give you there. All right. So outside of just normal stuff on your text cards, you can also put buttons on your text cards. All right. So you can add little buttons here. These buttons can go to any block. All right. And Chatfuel's pretty cool about allowing you to go to multiple blocks. All right. So we'll put 2 different blocks there, and then I can just go test. And then I can hit this, and I'm going to go to block 1. I should be going to block 1 anyways. Not quite sure why I'm not going to any block. There we go. There's block 1. There's block 2. There's block 2 again. Let's test that again. And sometimes this is just a nature of Chatfuel or any bot building platform that they haven't tackled infinite scalability for some reason, and their servers suck sometimes. So you can see here I'm going to both blocks. It's sending me literally to both blocks. It's sending me to 1 and 2. All right. So don't think that this is going to just randomly send you to one of these blocks. It's not. It's going to send you to all of these blocks. All right. If you click on this button, it's going to send you to every block that you list there. It's just going to dump all those blocks out. Probably not the best ideal for you, especially if you want to match content delivery with content consumption. All right. So now you can add 3 buttons to any object. All right. Maximum 3. So if you're doing text or if you're doing an image or you're doing a gallery, you'll see that you can add a maximum of 3 buttons to that thing. They can go to blocks, they can go to a URL, or they can go to a phone call. You can initiate a phone call, all right? And then you'll just give the phone number that you want to actually call. And this will literally just prompt the user's cell phone to open up the call function on their phone and make a phone call. Pretty simple. So that's essentially the text card. It's so easy, the text card, to understand it. So next is this typing card. We kind of showed you the typing card already. This typing card literally just shows that your bot is in the middle of typing, and you can give 1 second, or you can give 20 seconds. Chatfuel, I think they allow you to do it at the end of a block. ManyChat doesn't allow you to do that. They don't allow you to end with typing. So here in Chatfuel, you can. It can be the last element in your block if you want. And as you understand, this just makes your user understand that you got more content coming, and you'll be providing them more content. So that's really simple. All right. Quick replies. You can see what just happened whenever I put in that quick reply. It says quick replies can be placed only under text, gallery, or image card. So you can't put a quick reply under typing. You can only put it under a text card, an image card, or a gallery card. So we're just going to get rid of this. And your quick replies are just something like this. All right. So pretty straightforward there. Oh, let's try that test again. So you see your quick replies here. Now you mash one of them, they're going to disappear. You put in some text, it's going to disappear. If a user does this, all right, if a user types in yes, it is not the same as them mashing this yes button. 2 completely different things, all right? To show you that, let's come over here and let's just put in this yes right here. All right. And then let's come back over here and then put this guy connected to the yes. All right. And then let's have a little test. All right, I'm just going to mash yes. Now it's taking me to that block that says you said yes. So let's try this again, another test. Or let's type in yes. As you can see, it does not do the same thing as if I were to actually mash the yes button. 2 completely different things there, all right? Now, what else do you have with quick replies? So, for example, let's do this. Yes, AI. All right, so here's a yes AI. Let's add an AI here, yes, and then reply with a block called yes AI. All right. So now let's go back in and test this again. Now if I type in yes here, you're going to see it goes to the different block. It goes to the block that I just set up that says my AI recognized that you said yes. All right. Now, if you do not want this information, if you do not want this processed by your AI, you can turn this off. All right. So now if somebody puts in, whenever these quick replies are there, if somebody types in something, your AI will not process that. As we can see here, if we do a test again, and type in yes, you can see I'm not going to the same place that I went before because my AI is not processing this. All right. Now you can also save this data into a user attribute, which we're going to be getting to in the end of this course or in the end of this session. All right. So now we can come in here and say, now in your text, I know we haven't got to attributes yet, and we'll be getting to them soon, but what you need to know is that you can inject them almost anywhere that you want. You can inject the value that you've stored in one of these attributes, all right? So let me just remove this block right here, and then let's try this again. And we're gonna hit no, and you can see that he is just piping out the value that's stored inside your attribute. All right, so we're taking this data, we're storing it, and that's just getting stored inside an attribute called answer, and we're just piping that answer back out to the user so the user can see it. All right, so that's pretty much everything that you need to know about quick replies as it correlates to Chatfuel. All right. So now what's up next? An image. Images are pretty difficult. So pretty difficult whenever it comes to images. You need to hit the image card, and then you need to click this button right here, and then you need to upload a picture. I'm gonna upload a picture of me and my monkey. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of this. And I'm gonna get rid of that. And I'm just gonna have a picture of me and my little monkey here. And that's it. Now you can crop these guys if you want. You can go in and crop out your image and change how your image appears if you want. I'm gonna make mine a little bit bigger so that everybody can see me and my cute little monkey. See my little monkey there, George? He's awesome. All right, so now let's go in and do test. So that's really easy. As you can see, I was just kidding about it being hard. Again, on images, you should be able to add a card on or add buttons on images. Why you can't in Chatfuel, I really don't know. Facebook does allow the feature in their API. They allow you to put buttons on images. Chatfuel doesn't. If you want to put a button on an image, then you're going to have to actually use a gallery and give a heading and a subtitle, and then you can add there. For some reason, Chatfuel just doesn't allow you to add buttons on images. I'm not really sure why they do that, but they don't. So you can understand an image. That's about all there is to an image. All right, we're going to create this block. All right, this is called catch go-to block, and it's just going to give you a message that says you just came to this block. All right. So, and yes, I am recording this session, but you will not have access to the recording. So the sessions are recorded and the trainings are recorded. However, they are not something that are provided to you guys, so you will not be able to go back in and watch the replay. I mean, you can if you buy my chatbot training course for $500 or $97 a month, then you get access to all the trainings. If not, then you do not get access to the recordings. So those are for my chatbot students. I let you guys come for free and join the live sessions, but I don't give you access to the recordings because I sell them. All right. So this is called catch go to block. All right. It's just called catch go to block, and it just says, hey, you just came to this block, and we're gonna do something like this, go to block, and then we'll just put in catch go to block there. All right, so now what's gonna happen is the user is gonna see this beautiful image of my monkey, and then we're gonna redirect them over here to catch go to block. Because why? Because we are talking about this go to block right here. That's why. All right, so let's try this again. And you can see I got the image, and then I just came to that block. It just switched me over to that block. Now, on the go-to blocks, you can add in filters. Filters are conditional logic, all right? So you can add in filters. For example, we can say, hey, if this dude is a male, let's send him over here to go-to block. And if not, we're gonna be like, you're a girl. All right, so we've just added a filter, and we're like, okay, check to see if this person is their gender is male. If so, send them over there. If not, don't send them over there, which means you go to this next sequential process, and she's gonna get a message saying, hey, you're a girl. All right. So now I got that I just came to the block because I'm not a girl. So if I was a girl, then I would have not came here because my conditional logic. All right. So so to give you a better example of this, all right, let's go in and do this, another text. And let's give this and let's give this as answer. All right. And now let's give a go-to block, and let's say if answer is block 1. All right, if answer is block 1, we're going to send the user to block 1. If it's not, we're going to send him to block 2. All right. So, and actually we could go in and just say, hey, you know, if answer is block 2, send this guy to block 2. If not, we're going to do this. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Now we're going to test this out. Now you can see where you want to go, block 1 or 2. We're just going to type in screw you. And he's going to say bot didn't understand. 0. Now why did he say that? Well, he said that because remember in this quick replies, text is processed by the AI. All right. So let's turn that off. And let's try again. I'm not sure what that was. So let's try that again. Let's see what happened there. Well, I got an infinite loop. Something is happening. I got an infinite loop coming back in here. Not sure why. Not sure why, because I should definitely be, you know, answering those questions right there. So let's try that again. All right. Let's see if I get back into a crazy infinite loop. All right, great. I'm not in an infinite loop anymore. All right. So if I don't give one of the correct answers, then it's just going to route me back and repeat this thing over. So I'll go to block 2, and now it will send me to block 2. All right. So that's pretty much. Now you can add multiple of these. Okay, you can add multiple filters, and you can say, hey, if answer is block 1 and the dude is a male, do this. If answer is block 1 and the dude's a female, do this. So you can add multiple. You can add multiple of these blocks, and you can make them and or. So you can make them and conditions or conditions. All right. And then you can redirect them to multiple blocks, and then you can randomize that if you want. So you can go in and give multiple blocks here, and then just randomize it so they go to some random block. All right. And that is the go-to block. Pretty straightforward. At any time, remember, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, just ask those questions, and I will answer them as we go. So that is the go-to block. So essentially what's next, this to sequence, all right? Now, yesterday we did talk about, in this session right here, we talked about sequences, what sequences are, and how you create those sequences, all right? So let's just do this, all right? Let's get rid of this guy. 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 All those guys are gone. All right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a sequence 1. And we're going to create a sequence 2. All right. And we're going to say, hey, this is going to go out immediately. And then we're going to say, hey, I didn't want another sequence. So let's get rid of that sequence. All right, so this is going to go out immediately. This is going to go out seconds, let's say 10 seconds afterwards. And this is going to go out, let's say, also 10 seconds afterwards. And this is going to also go out immediately, or we'll just say this is going to go out after 10 seconds. And this is going to go out after, let's say, 20 seconds. And then this is going to go out after, let's say, another 20 seconds. All right. Let's put in some information here. So this is sequence 1, message 1. This is going to be sequence 1, message 2. This is going to be sequence 1, message 3. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing here and be like, this is sequence 2, message 1. This is going to be sequence 2, message 2. And this is going to be sequence 3, message 3. All right, so now we have our sequences set up. Great, awesome. Let's go back here to session 3. We're going to still start with this and answer. And now we are going to use this to sequence right here. All right, we're going to add a filter and say, hey, if answer is block 1, we are going to send this guy to new sequence 1. And we're going to say, hey, if answer is block 2, let's send this guy to new sequence 2. All right, so to let this guy decide what sequence he wants to get on and what messages he's going to get. All right, so let's do block 1. Now I just got subscribed to sequence 1. I should be immediately getting out a message. All right. So I did not immediately get my message. So what needs to happen is I just have to wait. All right. I did get sent to sequence 1 right here. I should be on this message right here. I'm not getting that message, as you can clearly see. No big deal. That's an issue with Chatfuel that they're having, and not, I mean, even though it says immediately, it's not always immediately. So let's just try this again. And let's see if I can go to sequence 2. All right. Neither one of those guys put me on my, oh, well, you know what? I got an issue right here. That's why. Imagine that. So let's try that again. All right, so let's try that again. Let's go back to block 1 and see if we can get into sequence 1. Well, we haven't got into sequence 1 yet. We should have got into sequence 1. Let's see about block 2. Okay, look, there's my sequence 1 message. I just got my sequence 1 message finally. I knew it was going to come. We just have to wait for Chatfuel for sometimes because there's a little bit of delay in what they do and what we do. So there's my sequence 1's message. Here's my sequence 1 message. This is sequence 1's message 2. This is sequence 1 message 1. That means I got one more sequence message to get, and then I'm done with that sequence. I've got all the messages in that sequence. Now, they don't obviously have to be right in a row. You can spread them out over days. You can spread them out over hours. That's completely up to you. I just decided to spread mine up over just, you know, like 10 seconds or something. So there I just got on sequence 1. Let's go get on sequence 2. Now I'm going to get put on sequence 2. Same thing here. I had a delay when I added the dude to the sequence. I delayed it for like, I'm not quite sure how long I delayed it, but I know I delayed it for some time. I delayed it for 10 seconds. There's sequence 2 message 1 right there. And here's going to come sequence 2 message 2 and then sequence 2 message 3. Now, those I put a 20-second delay between each one, so they're just going to take a little bit more time, all right? But that is the 2 sequence, all right? The 2 sequence sends you to a sequence, all right? So now you have other options here in your cards. Let's look at some of them. You got a JSON API, which we're going to get in depth into this JSON API later, all right? But this JSON API is pretty simple. This is how, if you, let's say for example, if you want to use Zapier, okay? If you want to take data from your chatbot and send it to Zapier and let Zapier do something with it, you are going to use a JSON API, all right? And then you'll just give some of the data that you want to send off to Zapier, and then you'll give a URL that Zapier is going to give you called a catch hook, all right? And this is what you'll use to send data to Zapier. If you got your own server, you'll use a JSON API to send data to your own server, all right? So you can have, let's say, for example, I think I've got probably somewhere a really good example of some server-side script somewhere. Let's look in this, this Galver demo bot right here. So somewhere in here, I think this find a realtor, ask first name, ask last name. So where is that? First name. All right, here's a JSON API right here, all right? So you hit that JSON API and you're like f name equals John, and he should give you back some response. You see, he's given back a response that he found 58 results. The first is John whatever, who works for Smart Move Realty, all right? So you can see what this JSON API is doing. This JSON API is hitting some script on your server. It is passing this fname value to it so that you can get a response back from your server. What this would look like is, what this would look like in the actual chatbot is something like this. Let's see if we can find a realtor. And it's going to ask how I want to find a realtor. Should be asking how I want to find a realtor. There we go. Let's look by first name. And what is the first name? We're going to give John. Same thing that we gave right here. We gave fname equal John to the server-side script right here. And you can see it says I found 58 results. The first result is John something who works for Smart Move Realty. So now I'll just hit that, and you'll see a payload is going to come back, and it says searching. Look, here's your John right there, Smart Move Realty. Here's another John, and you can call them, or you want to see more results, you can see more results. Now this is literally hitting your own server, or my own server anyways. It's hitting a database that we have stored that's connected to the MLS with all the actual different realtors that that are associated with Gallagher, the Greater Las Vegas Realtor Association. All right, so that is a JSON API. It allows you to send data to a third-party server like Zapier, Integromat, your own server, etc., etc., etc. User input, you have user input. If you want to ask a user for input, if you're like, yo, bro, what's up, man? I need some information from you. So you can do that and use your input. So you can be like, hey, can you give me a picture of yourself, please? All right, and we'll call this pic. And then we're just gonna type out here, pic. All right, oh crap, we're gonna type out pic. All right, so now we're gonna go in and do test. And now he's gonna say, hey, can you give me a picture of yourself? And then I'm just gonna be like, yeah, sure, of course, I'll give you some picture of myself. Why wouldn't I? I'm gonna give this picture right here. Doop. There's my picture of myself. Now I gave a picture of myself, and now you can see I just got a link to the picture. If I open this picture up, there we go. All right, so we'll work with any picture, obviously. Let's find some other stupid picture. Let's see. Let's use this extra info right here. Let's use this basic picture, actually. All right, so I'll put that basic picture in there. There's that basic picture. There's a link to my basic picture. If I open it up, there's my picture. All right, so you can obviously do whatever you want. You can go in and say, you know, test, and the dude can be like, hey, can you give me a picture of yourself? No way. That was the user's input. He didn't give you a picture. He said no way, so the bot pipes out no way instead of a link to the picture. All right, so that's what user input is. It allows you to go in and get input from the user. Now you can get even more input if you want. You can ask multiple questions and keep collecting input if you want. And then you also have where you can modify default plugin phrases. So if somebody does not give you an email, what this is for this validation. You see that you have a validation here where you can validate to check, did this person give you the right type of input? You wanted a number, did they give you a number? You wanted a phone number, did they give you that? You wanted an email address, did they give you that? If they didn't give you an email address, all right, you're asking for an email address here. So we can go in and say, you know, test. No, I can't give you a picture. You can see what you look like does not look like an email. Please try again. You can change that. Hey, stupid, I said email. Something happened where that didn't get saved and updated. Not sure why that didn't get updated, so let's try again. There we go. Now it got updated. Now he's telling me to give me an email. So you do have some validation there, and you can change these default responses. So that's essentially user input. So let's just add this. Let's just add this because we're going over a couple of these here while we're here. What else you've got? Send email. So send email, let's see, email title, test, email address is john@vaughn.com. Some user all right, there's that. So we're going to send out an email. Now we're going to try this again. We're going to get rid of this email validation because we don't want any email validation. All right, so there's that. Now, I'm waiting for this to give me this, and it's not finishing it yet. All right, but let's just come over here and look if I got any mail from Chatfuel or not. See, here's a mail from Chatfuel that I got. All right, there's that mail that I got from Chatfuel. He just sent it to me. Looks like he's stuck right now, though. He's definitely stuck. Not sure how my bot got stuck now. Got way too many messages open. All right, so did I get another email from Chatfuel? Yes, I did. See, there's another email from Chatfuel. All right, so that's that whole email thing. All right, we don't care about that send email thing that much. What else? A list. All right. So a list is a list. It can have a minimum of 2 things and a maximum of 4 things, and you can add a button to it if you want. And that's it. All right. So you can give. Let's create a little list here real quick. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. To add an item with cover, delete a regular item. Fine. I'm deleting that. Let's put a picture of my office there. All right, so this is some heading. Something else goes here. Here's just a button. I'm just going to go to block 1 on that button. All right, so that's your first item there. Now you can add up to 4. Let's add another button here. You can add a buy button if you want. Total price can't be less than 0, so let's make a price of, $10 there. Great. So now we got that, and then let's give a picture of, Wasili. All right. So there's that. So let's check it out. There you can go. You see some heading. See, there's a little buy button where I can click buy. This fallback URL is not set up because I don't have Stripe set up, so my buy stuff doesn't work because I don't have Stripe set up, so don't worry about that. But you can see what a list is. Lists are pretty straightforward, so it just allows you to put in these 4 little items and you can add a button. So that's what a list is. We're not going to talk about live chat in this one. I want to get rid of this. All right, so we went over a list. Set up user attributes. We're going to be talking about this in just a second, so I'm going to skip that. Audio, video, chat room. So chat room we're going to skip, live chat we're going to skip. Go-to block, we already showed you a go-to block. I showed you that earlier. We got audio where you can just put in essentially an audio file. You're going to give a URL to the audio file. That's pretty easy. Video is the same. You're going to give a URL to the actual video file. Also very easy. Chat room, again, we're gonna skip that. Share location. Share location is really easy, so we're just gonna put in share location. Shows quick replies that allows user to send their location to the bot. We will parse the user data. Okay, I'm not sure what any of that is. So what's your location? No idea. Let's check it out. Test. Okay, so bam. They want to know my location. Okay, I'm going to send my location. There's my location. Now, where does that data go? Looks like that data goes here. So let's check it out. All right, so there's all the data that's going to get piped out there. I just got paid by Darla. What's up, Darla? I just got some money from you, Darla. I like money. All right, so here's this again. Send this location. Send this location. And you can see here's all my information. Zip code, state, whatever all this stuff was. Here's all that information there. Here's my map URL to show me on the map. Hey, Joy, can I have some tea? Yeah. Thank you. So there's my map location right there. Awesome, right? That's where I'm at. If you want to know where I'm at, that's me right there. This is me right here, all right? That black thing, that's me. So that's location. So we talked about location. Let's see, what else did we talk about? Chatfuel dashboard, let's get rid of that. Oh, hey, let's not get rid of that. Shit, let's just close that because that's totally the wrong bot. I'm about to start deleting. Delete that bot, I'd be real upset. What else did we go over? We talked about audio, video, share location, and we're going to talk about user email, user phone number. These are really cool, so give me your FB data. All right, so we can do this, user email, and we can do user phone, and we're going to put in phone. All right, so let's go back here and let's go test. All right, so you can see, look, Facebook is already recognizing what my email is because Facebook stores my email. So they're recognizing what my email is, and they're allowing me as a quick reply just to go drop in my email. All right, so now I can save that, and they're also going to allow me it looks like they would allow me to put in a phone number, but I don't have any phone number listed here. So they're not going to preview my phone number because I don't have any phone number listed here. So I'm just going to have to put one in because I don't have one listed in Facebook. If I had one listed in Facebook, they would populate it as a quick reply, just like that other one that you saw. All right. So that essentially goes over most of our cards. All right. For the most part, that goes over most of our cards. On the surface, there are some other cards obviously in here. So we still have some different cards that we haven't actually went over, and we'll go over those at a later date, like the live chat and the chat room we'll be going over at a later date. We're about to do set up user attribute. Oh, comment. Let's just go over comment while we're here because that one's really easy. This is all right, so this is just information for you. Like, for example, what do I like to do with these comments? I like to, right above my JSON APIs where I'm sending out data to Zapier, I like to put in, you know, what Zap it is, what the name of the Zap is, what folder it is in, and a link to the Zap itself, so that as I build all these chatbots and I have, you know, 500 Zaps in my Zapier account, and I don't have to go in and try to figure out, okay, which one of those Zaps go to this function right here. I'll just leave a little note for myself. I'll say, hey, this is this Zap. Thank you so much. This is this Zap. Here's the name of the Zap. Here's the folder that it's in, and here's a link right to the Zap, and it makes it easier for me. But this is just a comment. No one's going to see this, but your bot users aren't going to see this. It's just for your own organizational skills if you have any organizational skills. So the rest of these we will talk about later. The only one I want to talk about now is unsubscribe from sequence. I showed you earlier how you can subscribe someone to a sequence and add them to a sequence. This is just the inverse. This will remove somebody from a sequence. If you've added somebody to a sequence and then later on they're like, hey, quit sending me your messages every day, you're going to be like, okay, fine, and you can unsubscribe them from the sequence, and then they won't get those sequence messages every day if they don't want. All right? So that essentially goes over a brief overview of all your Chatfuel cards that you're going to put on any of your blocks. So are there any questions at this point whatsoever? Anybody have any questions, or everybody good so far with this information? All good, no questions?
No questions from me.
Cool. So let's talk about Chatfuel attributes. What's up, Darla?
I said, I'm just hanging in here listening, so go good.
Cool. So Chatfuel attributes. What are Chatfuel attributes? Well, an attribute, if you ever use ManyChat, ManyChat has a thing called a custom field. All right? That's an attribute. What is an attribute? Best way that I can explain an attribute or a custom field is this. All right? It's a table. You've got an item, you've got a row, and in that row, in that object, you want to store some data about that object, all right? Here we've got a row, and it's got 4 different pieces of information connected to it, all right? So if you think a table, a spreadsheet, a database, that's essentially what an attribute is. An attribute is just a little custom piece of data where you can put information in. It's just a little box where you can store custom information about a user, all right? We've been using them all day already. I've been showing them to you all day, all right? So that's what an attribute is. It's just a little box where you can store information about somebody or about something. So we've answered that. What is user attributes? User attributes are essentially information that you have stored about a user. By default in Chatfuel, Chatfuel gives you all of these purple ones, all right? Now this longitude, this zip, latitude, country, those were all populated by getting that user location. But Chatfuel gives you some pretty cool ones. They give you a ref, which we're gonna have an entire class talking about the ref and what it is and how powerful it is and how you can use it to do really, really cool things in your chatbot. I've showed you some of that before on other trainings. Last visited block ID, last visited block name. So this last visited block name is pretty cool. I think you can actually even go to, no, you can't. Well, that sucks. Sucks they don't let you do that. Don't let you go right back to that block. So, now, but you can know the last block that a user went to, so you can find out, hey, where was the last place this user was at in my chatbot? Last visited block name, that map URL. Last user freeform input. That is an attribute about the user. That is an attribute about the user that will tell you the very last message that they gave you. All right? So you can do this. We type in test. I'm going to get that message and then test. All right? Because that was my last freeform input. That's the last message that I physically typed to the chatbot. Chatfuel, we got source, locale. Locale is the dude's language, what language the guy has set in his settings in Messenger. Source is where this person came from, all right? How this person got into my chatbot in the first place. Profile pic URL, last name, the last button click name, what time zone this dude's on, his first name, his gender, and his Messenger ID. You will note that this Messenger ID and this Chatfuel user ID are exactly the same thing, all right? They are exactly the same thing. So you can see, I know that this user came into my bot from this source, from the m.me link. I also know that this guy is a male, meaning he has a penis. And I can see his user IDs. This is Chatfuel user ID. It's his Messenger ID. All right, it's the exact same thing. So those are user attributes. Those ones that I'm showing you, these are all the default ones from Chatfuel. You cannot stick data into these guys. Okay, you cannot overwrite somebody's gender. You cannot overwrite the source. You're not allowed to physically stick data. You can't collect data from your user and stick it inside gender. These are reserved only for Chatfuel. You can access them, you can use the data, but you can't stick data inside them. If you want a little box to hold some data about your person, you know their gender, maybe you want to know their sexual preference. So you can go in and create a user attribute called sexual preference, and you can ask the dude, what is your sexual preference? And they can tell you, you know, I'm gay, or I'm straight, or I'm bisexual, or, you know, I like animals, or whatever their sexual preference is. And you have to store that in an attribute that you create. You cannot stick that in any of these purple attributes. Those are reserved for Chatfuel for their use only. All right? So user attributes are just little pieces of data. All right? How to set up user attributes? Well, that's pretty straightforward. Use this card, set up user attributes, all right? So you just have a card, new data. What's the value gonna be in here? Some data, all right? So now we just set up this user attribute. It's all set up. Now that it's set up, now we can stick data inside here anytime we want. We can go in and ask the user a question. We can say, give me some data, this was new data. And then we can type in new data. Give me some new data. I'm going to type in some data. There's my data. Now I'm just grabbing some data from the user. I'm storing it in a little box, and then I'm unopening the box and I'm showing what data the user gave me. So pretty straightforward. That's how you set up a user attribute. And how do you get data into a user attribute? Well, you're going to do it one of two ways. You're going to use set up a user attribute, or you're going to ask for user input. One of those two ways. All right? Those are the only ways you can get data. Well, it's not the only way. There's one other way that you can get data into a user attribute, and that is using the Chatfuel Broadcast API. You can send the data into a user attribute through the Chatfuel Broadcast API, but that we won't go over until day 3. We'll talk about the Broadcast API and how to use the Broadcast API and all the cool stuff about the Broadcast API. So hopefully you guys understand user attribute, what it is. I showed you how to set them up. I showed you how to create them manually. How can user attributes, all right, so I guess one thing that you need to do is know how to get data out of a user attribute, all right? So you just do the same thing. You're just going to select the not set option, all right? So you can set up a user attribute and you can set the not set option, all right? So to give you an example of that, let's do this. Clear. All right. Let's come back over here to session 3. And let's go in and say, hey, let's get some data from the user. Let's do this. Let's show this. Let's say, would you like to clear your data? And then he's going to say yes or no. Yes. No. And then we're going to say your data is now new data. And if he comes here, we're going to come to clear. All right. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to come over here to clear. And we're going to go in and say your data was new data. We're going to set up a user attribute. We're going to say new data. And we're going to say this is not set. Now your data is new data. All right. So now that guy's all gone. So let's come in here. Let's ask for some new data. I'm gonna put in bags of poop. All right, so bags of poop. Would you like to clear your data? Yes, I would like to clear my data. My old data. Come on, Chatfuel. So you can see my data was bags of poop. Now my data is empty, all right, because I cleared it. That is necessary for you to understand how to get rid of user data once you've collected it, all right? There is one other way that you can get rid of user data, but you need to be pro. You can use this people tab. If you're not pro, you don't get access to this people tab. You got to upgrade to pro. But if you had access to this people tab, then you would see that you could go to this people tab here, and you can click on a people, and you can see what data you have. I can see this person was referred By hectare, I can see that, you know, they got some information here. I can see, I don't know what this ID is. I don't know what this row is. Referral intake, et cetera, broadcast notifications is false. I can get rid of that if I want to and just delete that data there, or I can change that data and set it to true, okay? All these data, these are system attributes. These are the ones I told you are defined by Chatfuel. You cannot change this information. Nothing you can do will change this information, but you can look at it, all right? All right. So that's what is user attributes, how to set them up, how to create them, how to clear them. Let's add that in. All right, how to clear attributes in the chatbot. How can attributes be beneficial for us? So attributes can be beneficial to us for all sorts of different ways. You can understand that you want some information about the user. Like for example, for me, I build chatbots. I run a software development company. I got like 40 engineers that work for me, and I got like 6 of them that are chatbot builders, and we build chatbots for all sorts of people. All right, so let's say you come into my chatbot and you're interested in talking to me about a chatbot. Well, my chatbot can ask you, hey, how much money do you have? What's your budget? And you could be like, okay, I got $1,000. And then my chatbot can be like, well, you're a cheap bastard and I don't work for $1,000 budget, so get somebody else to build your stuff. All right, so let's check that out. Let's do that, all right? Let's just show how that would work. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. What is your budget for a chatbot? Let's ask for some user input. Let's ask for a number. Let's put that in budget. All right. And then now let's go in and create a budget router. All right. And let's give a low budget, normal budget, and let's give a high budget. All right, so this guy has a high budget. We can do some cool stuff. That's a really not a good budget. All right, so that's not a budget. All right, so now next here I want to go to budget router here. I want to send the dude to budget router after I get his budget. And in budget router, I'm going to go and say, hey, here's your go-to block. If budget is less than $1,000, then I'm going to go to low budget. All right. Then I'm going to say, hey, if budget is less than $5,000, then I'm going to go to normal budget. And finally, if it's greater than 5,000, I'm going to go to high budget. All right. So now I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to test. And he's going to say, hey, what's your budget? I'm going to say, you know, it's $987. And he's going to say, well, that's not a budget, so, you know, fuck right off because I can't help you. So now he's going to be like, hey, what's your budget? And he's going to be like $4,999. And he's going to be like, well, That's kind of a small budget, but we can get you a basic chatbot set up for that. And then this guy's going to be like, hey, what's your budget? And he's going to be like, hey, what's your budget? He's going to be like, hey, my budget's $9,000. He's going to be like, that's great. Looks like we can happily work together. I can build you out a chatbot. So you can see some of the ways that these user attributes can be really beneficial to us, because we can collect data from our users. We can collect their email addresses, we can collect their phone numbers, we can find out what their chatbot budgets are, we can find out their sexual preferences, we can find out whether they like cats or dogs or peanut butter cookies, what their favorite food is, all right? We can find out how many pizzas if they want to order. So if you're trying to do if you're gonna have a chatbot, you need user attributes, because you want to collect information about your users so that you can segment them. That's another really cool thing that you can do in Chatfuel. You do it in the people tab. You can create segments, segments of your audiences. Like, for example, I've got my own personal team that's part of this Facebook group here that I think a lot of you guys are part of, this private Facebook group here. So in this Facebook group, I gave an upgrade option for people to upgrade to a higher monthly membership fee and join my personal team. Well, guess what? Here is that JV team segment. And you can see it is all defined based on a user attribute. If they are JV team is equal to true, then they are on this JV team segment that I can use later on in the bot. Whenever I'm sending out a broadcast, I can go, hey, I want to send a broadcast. And the broadcast that I want to send it only to the segment where they are on the JV team, as opposed to saying, hey, if these guys are group affiliates, I want to send, let's say I just updated something in the affiliate program, right? So if I updated something in the affiliate program, I want to send out some news to all the affiliates to know, hey, I just upgraded, the affiliate platform and, launched your membership site, which we are working on. By the way, we are working on building your affiliate membership. We're taking this and editing it so it works great with the chatbot for your backend member portal for your affiliate dashboard. So I could just target a message only to the group affiliates based on this segment called group affiliates. Where does this segment come from? It comes from right here. Again, a user attribute. If group affiliate is true, what about, if you're on the JV team, we do a weekly coaching call for all JV team members to help you with strategy and, your goals in life and all that good shit, your journey of entrepreneurism, to tell your boss to go, screw himself, all that good stuff. So now we want to reward people who have perfect attendance, all right? So we can use a segment, perfect attendance. So we've got another thing that we need to add here, and that's going to be 6, 8, crap. Let's see, we're missing one. Let's just edit that real quick because I'm pretty sure that I'm missing one. JV team meetings. We got 518, 525, 525. All right, so this is 518. Should be 518, 518. All right, so there is no 518. Crap. Fine, doesn't exist. But here you can see a segment of people who have perfect attendance coming to all the JV team meetings, all right? So these guys have perfect attendance coming to every coaching session. How do I know that? Because whenever they attend a meeting, they click a link, and that link registers that they're on that particular meeting session and they've attended that meeting. Well, now I can set up, based on these user attributes, I can say, hey, if they attended this meeting, if that's true, if this is true, if this is true, create a little segment called perfect attendance. Now I can easily see, hey, here's 4 people, as opposed to if you look at the JV team, on the JV team, you see there's 32 people. But out of those 32 people, so I can come in here and I can also add another segment, and I can say, if JV team is true, I should get the same 4 people. All right, that's just a double check to make sure that I got the right people. So I got 4 out of 33 people that have actually had perfect attendance, all right? Another useful thing that I can use attributes for, I can set up segments so that I can segment. I mean, if you've got a user and they fucking hate dogs because they were attacked by a Rottweiler and when they were a kid, all right? You do not want to send them marketing material of a little kid petting a fucking Rottweiler, because they're going to flip the fuck out and they're not going to buy your kibbles and bits, all right? They're going to go insane. They're going to go into a relapse. So a user attribute, you can see where you can be like, hey, do you like dogs? And the person can be like, oh no, man, I got my whole face bit off by a dog when I was a kid. You can store that information, and later on, whenever you're going to send out some marketing material or some content to your user, you can be like, okay, if dude has got his face bit off by a dog, don't send this picture of a dog. Instead, send this picture of a cat, and you can give more relevant content to your users, which they're going to be more likely to take action on. So, so lots of ways, as you can understand, just lots of ways, countless ways that attributes can be beneficial to you and what you're doing. All right. So as you can see, we have covered all this in this training session. So that's it for this training session. Now, at the end of the training sessions, I always like to have a Q&A to go over if there's any questions that you guys want to ask. So are there any questions that you guys want to ask?
I noticed that there are different numbers of attributes set up for each one of those. How do you go in? I mean, how do you decide individually what attributes you're going to put in there?
How do you decide what attributes you're
like I noticed on Lindsay's, there was a higher number of attributes on that sheet. Yeah. All the way over to the right there.
62.
Yeah. What do those numbers mean?
This is how many attributes that they filled out. Like for example, in the chatbot, you've got your success steps, right, Darla? You go in every, you put in your success steps, and that takes data. You know, one of your success steps: create a Facebook group. Give me your Facebook group URL. Create a persona page. Give me your persona page URL. You know, what's your LinkedIn profile? What's your Facebook profile? All of that data I'm collecting from you, I'm putting in a user attribute. All right. So the more information that a user goes in and fills out, the more attributes that they have. Let's say in my chatbot right now, I have 500 attributes that I've defined, that through all the different ways in my chatbot, you could get somewhere and you could give me some data points, right? Well, not every person is going to go entirely through my chatbot and fill out all 500 attributes. Tom, he's only filled out 27. Jane, she's filled out 33. What does that tell me? Jane's done more success steps than Tom has. Lindsay's done more success steps than Jane and Tom both, because she's got 62 attributes, all right? So whenever a user fills out data that you're asking them for, that number is going to go up. So it's just related to, it's not something that you set, it's just related to your users and how they're using your chatbot and how much data that they're giving you inside the chatbot. Okay, so that just comes from more input. That's correct. That just comes from that just comes from them going in and giving this information. Okay. What else? Sorry, I didn't understand that, Josh. Was that a question?
I'm just getting up to give you the questions. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's more of a personal question to go through the steps, because through the steps of the attributes, right? How do you know where, you know, the next step comes along based on the attributes that you've already provided?
Well, that kind of goes back to like a session 1 question, right? That kind of goes back to the beginning, where before you start building out your chatbot, you need to make a little diagram. You need to make like a little picture of the conversation and what it is that you're wanting to do. So once you do that, once you diagram out what you're wanting to do, then you're going to know where, once I collect this data from a user, what do I need to do? So so it really comes down to you and what you're trying to accomplish in a chatbot. All right. So So I guess to give you examples, like, let's say we're a pizza dude and we're like, yo, hey, do you want to buy some food? Here's our menu. We got some drinks, we got some, you know, some appetizers, and we got some pizza pies, all right? Now we're gonna give the user the option to click a quick reply and tell us which one he wants, all right? So he clicks pizza, all right? So we're gonna route him over to some place that shows all our pizza options, all right? Now in each of those, he can click another option and he can say, oh, hey, I want the pepperoni. So we can route him over to some place where it's like, okay, you want pepperoni pizza? What size do you want? You want some extra cheese? Okay, we got all that information. Hey, is there anything else that you want? Yes or no? He says no, then we know, okay, hey, we need to go process checkout for him. He says yes, we know we need to give him the same options as before. What do you want? Pizza, appetizers, or a drink? He's like, I want a drink. And then we're like, okay, well, we got some beer, we got some Coke. He's like, okay, fuck it, I want some beer. We're like, all right, which one of these beers do you want? He's like, okay, I want the Budweiser. Okay, how many do you want? He's like, I want 24 because I want to get smashed with my pizza. All right, great. Do you want anything else? No. All right, let's route him over to checkout and be like, okay, you've got a large pizza and, you know, 24 cold beers. All right, are you still want to check out? Yes. So now we can route him to finalize the checkout. How do you know where to send them to? Well, that's really, really relative to what it is that you want to do. What is your chatbot trying to accomplish?
Thank you.
So that all comes from the planning. That all comes from the planning part of everything. Obviously, that all just comes from your
So
plan.
that's the flow, right?
Yeah, you can call that a flow. I like to call them conversations flows. I mean, in ManyChat, they're really easy to visualize because ManyChat has the flow builder, but Chatfuel doesn't have a flow builder. They have this block concept that we talked about, that's sequential programming. It's a linear process. It's more redundant, more modular, which is really great. But because of that, because there's no visual process, if you don't know what you're doing, it can get a little confusing or it can get a little complex if you don't stop first and go over to your whiteboard. If you don't have a whiteboard, draw on your computer, you know, draw on your forehead, draw somewhere on a piece of paper what you're going to try to accomplish. And then once you do that, then go in and actually start building the chatbot. Which do I believe is more powerful? Well, let's take a look at ManyChat. Let's just have a look at ManyChat. How about that? Let's look at ManyChat. Let's go ahead and log into ManyChat. Let's agree to their terms of service. Well, fuck. I can't log in. So
Sorry.
So just for the simple fact that I can't even log into ManyChat because they panic at my profile. See, they got a profile panic when they see me. They're like, oh fuck, not this dude. So yeah. Well, there's this issue obviously with ManyChat. You guys may not be experiencing this issue. Because maybe they don't panic when they see your profile, but they do panic when they see my profile. But if you remember, we talked about just a little bit ago, we talked about this right here. All right? Remember, we talked about this ref, and I was like, look, we'll get back to that ref. We got a whole class about that ref and what it is and how it works and why it's so powerful. These guys are the only bot platform that actually give you access to the ref, which I don't understand, like why ManyChat wouldn't give you access to the ref, why any other bot building platform wouldn't give you access to the ref. I don't understand, because it is the most powerful, it's like the most powerful part of a chatbot. For example, here is your ref, all right? Take a look here. Here is a thing right here, blah, 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 become a group affiliate. All right, check this out. Here's a ref right here. You see, here's an m.me link, and it says ref equals get group membership affiliate links, all right? So if somebody clicks on this link right here, if I copy this link and somebody clicks on this link, look what's gonna happen. He's gonna go in, he's gonna get the group membership links. It's gonna take him right in there where he needs to get the link, all right? See, it's like, hey, you open this conversation, they can see that you use their link, and here's your affiliate links for the chatbot. See, it gives you those things right there, all right? It takes you right into this block and gives you those things. Why? Because it recognized that ref, and because of that ref, it jumped you into the block. But the awesome thing is, all right, let's take a look over here, all right? Let's go to this welcome message. Let's pop in your ref. All right, here's your ref. Let's grab your m.me link right here. Let's give a ref equals, now, imagine that I have something, like this, all right? Imagine that I have something like this. What is this, you ask? Well, this is an export from LinkedIn. These are all my connections on LinkedIn, okay? So I went into LinkedIn and I exported all my connections. You can see I've got like 3,600 connections, 3,700 connections on LinkedIn, all right? Now guess what? I'm about to market to all these people that I'm connected on LinkedIn. I'm about to send them out a promotional email promoting the Tier 5 group, promoting the Tier 5 membership, and the Tier 5 community, and why they should be a part of it. I'm about to go in and build a Zapier process that will just essentially send out an automated email to all these people, all right? Now, in my email that I'm gonna send out to all these people that I never fucking met before in my life, and I'm gonna try to get money from them, all right? In my email, I am going to include a link to my chatbot. I'm gonna include an m.me link inside my email that they can click on, and it will drop them into my chatbot, all right? Now, I know what company that they work for. I know what their position is. I also know their email address, all right? All of these datas, I don't really want to ask them a second time. I do not want them to come into my chatbot and me be like, what's your email? Well, what company do you work at? Well, what's your position there? Why not? Because I already got the fucking data. Why would I want to ask these dudes again for the data that I already have, all right? So now the issue is, I've already got this data. I know about this data. Now, how do I associate this data into the chatbot? Whenever these dudes come into the chatbot, how do I get this data? How can I reference this data now inside the chatbot? Well, I can ask them for it redundantly again, and that's real fucking stupid from a UI perspective. Trust me, if you collected a bunch of data from your user and then you go in and keep asking them for the same damn data, that user's gonna be like, I mean, they're just not going to like it. They're not going to like all this repetitive give you data over and over again, all right? Maybe they don't give it to you. Maybe I asked this dude, hey, what company do you work for? And he's like, fuck you, dude. Why do you care about what company I work for? I'm not telling you that. What, you my mom? All right? So maybe they just simply won't give it to you. So how do you get this data in? Well, what could I do? All right? I can do this. I could say, hey, m.me. Where's that one? I can say, hey, m.me. I can build something like this. I can say, hey, ref equals, and then I can be like, okay, company underscore, and then I can just be like, hey, where's this dude's company? He's Time Warner, all right? And I can be like, and let's see, position underscore, all right, this guy has this position right here, and then I can be like, okay, and email underscore, dude has this email right here. All right, so there's my m.me link. Now check it out. I'm going to click it. Now you see here, I just got all that data in. See all that data? It's just now came into my chatbot. All right, so now I can come right back in here and I can be like, yo, what's up, JSON API? What's up with this dude's ID? What's up with this dude's ref? Send this data out to my own server, send this data out to Zapier, and parse out this data here, all right? Essentially now all I gotta do is write a very simple regular expression that says, hey, every time you see one of these things right here, split that up for me, all right? So what's he gonna do? He's going to give me back this. He's going to give me back this. And he's going to give me back this. All right? So I write a simple regular expression that says, hey, split this string based on this character right here. So now I'm going to get these three strings back that says, and then I can say, hey, split this string based on this character right here. So then what am I going to get back? I'm going to get back a company equals Time Warner Cable. Position equals leadership development, senior trainer. Email equals whatever this is at AOL.com. All right. So now guess what? I can take all this data, push it right back into the chatbot. I don't ever have to ask this dude, what's your email? What company do you work for? What's your job title? What's your position? What's your salary? Any of this data that I already have about my chat, about my user. All right. I don't have to ask them that information. All right. So this is a really, really powerful thing. Let's say I got an e-commerce store. All right. On that e-commerce store, let's say I've got something like this. All right. On this e-commerce store here, let's say I've got something just like this. I've got a little chat where the user can click and he can have a chat with me. All right. Now he's on a page that is a page for a product, one of the products that I sell. Right. I can write a little JavaScript function and I can go do something very similar to what I just showed you, and I can build my own little custom ref that describes the product that this dude is interested in, and I can overwrite the ref for this chat block right here. And as soon as he clicks this start button, I can send data into the chat bot like, look, dude's having a chat with you. He's on a page for this particular product. Go pull some data out of your database about this particular product, bring it back in, show it to him, answer his questions about this particular product. It allows me like really, really dynamic control of what I'm going to do with my chatbot. So just having access to this ref parameter alone is what makes Chatfuel the most powerful kid on the block until we release Chatbot. So definitely Chatfuel. I would definitely say Chatfuel is much more powerful with what you can actually do, just because of that ref parameter. All right. Now they've got their broadcast API, which is great. ManyChat just kind of released that. ManyChat released that not so long ago. They opened up an API platform. So Chatfuel has that as well. They've got the JSON API plugin, which ManyChat just kind of released not so long ago as well, in an external request. But they don't give you access to the ref, and that's one of the most powerful things that you can actually have in a chatbot, because it allows you to. It allows you, like for example, if you take a look at this chatbot, all right, the tier 5 chatbot, all right. Now, I showed you guys that whenever you go into the tier 5 chatbot, you get these affiliate links, right? So how do I know whenever somebody clicks on an affiliate link? And you can see, look, you can see I get all these notifications, right? This person clicked my link, Tiffany did. This person, Matthew, clicked my link. Kevin clicked my link. Alexander clicked my link. Andre, all these dudes just keep clicking on my link, all right? So how do I know that they're clicking on my link, right? Well, I know because I send them to an m.me link with a custom built ref called an affiliate ref, all right? And inside the chatbot and the welcome message, I just look to say, hey, if the ref that this dude comes in on, if it starts with an affiliate, an AFF underscore, this dude just came in on an affiliate link. So I'm going to send him over to this block that says, hey, you were referred by an affiliate, and that's just going to essentially send some data out to Zapier, as you can see. It sends some data out to Zapier, and that Zap will send him right back here and say, hey, I see that you were just sent here by whatever this affiliate's name is, and they're awesome. They want to give you a gift. Here's a free ManyChat. Here's a free ManyChat training course that they want to give you. And then I'd set their referral intake to true to know that they've already been welcomed by an affiliate. And then I send them over here to this affiliate welcome screen. Completely different. This is a completely different process than what happens if somebody just normally comes to my chatbot. If they just normally come to my chatbot, they're going to get this message down here. All right. If they come to my chatbot with one of those little links that I just showed you, that custom built link, if they come in with that, then I'm going to send them over here to decode ref, and I'm going to send their data out to an external server, and I'm going to say, hey, this dude just came into my chatbot, and he came in with a whole bunch of data about him. So I'm going to send that data off. I'm going to decode that data, and I'm going to pull it back in my chatbot, and then I'm going to decide what I want to do. So that feature alone, that ref feature, having access to that ref feature is really, really invaluable whenever it comes to building a chatbot. So I would have to say Chatfuel all the way is what I'd have to say. Joy.
John, are we just going to have the one m.me link for the main development, or are we going to have, or do we have them for all the other softwares individually?
Well, the m.me link is not for software. It is for a Facebook page specifically. So m.me links are links that open up a conversation between your messenger and the messenger of another person. So, for example, for example, and I think it's another person. I'm not sure if I can. I'm not really sure if these guys have a. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do this right here and do, you know, m.me / whatever that dude's name is, if that will open up a, yep, it opens up a conversation just with me and that dude. Here's some random ass dude that's like, hey John, go spend, you know, $2,000 on fucking funnel builder secrets. So if I open up that m.me link, that's gonna open up a conversation directly between me and that person right in Messenger, as you can see. So it has nothing to do with any of our softwares. The m.me link is a thing provided by Facebook that just describes how you can get directly into Messenger with the conversation with somebody, be it a Facebook page or be it an individual person. So for all you care about, Darla, you just need that one m.me link that goes to the Tier 5 Facebook page for any of the things that you're going to want to do with Tier 5.
For now, anyway.
For now, that is correct. For now. So what else? Any other questions you guys have? No more questions? Questions are all done?
Okay, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to have a good night because you're going to tell me you don't care because you're going to have a good day anyway, so.
That's right.
Talk to you later.
That's right, Darla. I hope you guys enjoy though. I'll be doing another training class in probably about 6 hours or so. So most of you guys will probably be sleeping, but if you're in the JV group, you'll have access to the recording. I'll be uploading this one to YouTube in just a little bit and making it available in the Tier 5 chatbot. All right. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm gonna get out of here.
Hasta.
Thank you.
Hey guys, my pleasure.